We are a traditional country boarding prep school for boys here in North Yorkshire. We try to get a very good balance in the day. We appreciate that academics are first and foremost, but equally we want to make sure that the boys enjoy themselves. So there's a huge opportunity for them to get involved in sport and music and drama and the arts and lots of activities. And we also try to engage in developing the individual. We want to produce boys who go out into the world and who will be willing to make a difference. Society gets more and more difficult rather than easier, and we want these boys to go out and make the most of their lives and really make a difference. Thank you, Minnie. The first is time, and the second is space, and if you add those two together, it gives you the opportunity to make a really full education. So days are longer. We get up early, we go to bed rather later, and the days are very full. A balance between academics and lots of activities, so the boys can do things they enjoy, but also so they can build confidence. Of course, space, we are lucky, we have so much space. And it gives you the opportunity to go outside for your academic lessons, but also to engage in all sorts of activities. Of course, lots of sport, but also outside for forest schools, to enjoy land art, but actually to go out and light fires and build dens, to do all the things that you should do when you're a boy and when you're growing up. And so if you put those things together, of course, the time and the space, it gives you this full education. The world we live in, it gets tougher and tougher, and if we can't give the boys the benefit of learning how to get a work-life balance when they're this age, then I think we're setting them off on the wrong foot. It's very important that we get that right. Boarding provision and what life looks like for a boarder. Well, to start with, we have about 150 boys. Of those, 130 or so are boarders, and the overwhelming majority of those are full boarders. So the day is very much set up for boarders. We start the day when the boys are woken by their house parents, and then we follow through with breakfast, and then outside the boys play. We come inside for chapel, and then the normal day begins. After the normal day ends, we have prep, and we have more food, of course, with supper, and then a whole series of activities. And we try to balance them between the physical, and the artistic, and the dramatic, but also things boys really enjoy. The chance to go out to do some campcraft, to light fires, to build dens, or maybe to barbecue when the weather's good, mountain biking, croquet, lots of activities, and if a member of staff has an interest, we definitely try to pursue that. Equally, if the boys have an interest, we will try to make it set it up for them. Most popular last term was remote control cars, not racing them, but actually building them, and that came at the request of the boys. Once they go upstairs, then of course the necessary ablutions, and then we're into enjoying ourselves in the evening. And we firmly believe that boarding should be an extension of family life. This is an amazing school in that it was built as a boarding school with all the dormitories in the main building. And so this will never be quite home, but it should be the very next best thing to it. Saturday school, very much a full day. Of course, when we're not having an Aysgarth weekend, which we have about every third week. Normal Saturdays see the boys get up a little bit later, a little lie-in, and then a Saturday breakfast, which always involves something a little special, like pain au chocolat, and Cocoa Pops being particularly a favourite on a Saturday, along with the normal offerings. We then, after a playtime outside, we come in for what we call Congo, congregational hymn practice, where the whole school comes together to sing and to practice the hymns for the week ahead. Once we finish that, we go through lessons through the morning with the normal break times and snacks, etc. A slightly earlier lunch, which allows us to, when in normal routine, to get off and play lots of fixtures, lots of sport in the afternoon and sport for everyone, and that takes us through to about 4 o'clock or a little later if it's the cricket season. Once day boys have gone home at that stage, well, this becomes the boarders' house. Skateboarding, scootering, ripsticking, ramps and grinding bars and the like come out onto the playground, and if there's a chance to get a barbecue running in the good weather, and even when it's a little chilly, well, we'll try to do that as well. Saturday evening is a much more relaxed affair, boys in home clothes or pyjamas if they want to, watching films, enjoying popcorn in front of the big screen or in their common rooms. It's a pretty easy evening, as we'd hope they give them the opportunity to relax and recharge their batteries and have fun with their friends. Of course, tuck is an important part of that. The odd treat on a Saturday evening really helps. And then they're off to bed a little later than usual, and then up again on Sunday morning. So I've been asked to talk a little bit about transport links to London. Of course, we're here in North Yorkshire. It seems a very, very long way away, but it's about 2.5 hours, maybe less, 2 hours 15 on the train. And so at Aysgarth, and half terms, we will arrange for an escorted bus service, a minibus to take the boys to the station, and a member of staff escorts them on the train down to King's Cross, where they meet with parents, and we offer the same service at the end of the exeat, with them returning safely with a member of staff back to school in time for supper. Rather a tricky question. What's the best time, the best age for someone to start? I think the straightforward answer is at 8. It's when the vast majority of children, boys, start at Aysgarth. Obviously, some come through the pre-prep, but actually we have boys coming up from London and from down from Scotland and a few from overseas. So they all come together, and we really target those first few weeks of that September term as an opportunity for them to get to know each other and to start to form those friendships, which will last way, way beyond Aysgarth. That's not to say it's not successful when boys come in at other times, and indeed the school grows. Each year we have boys coming into year groups as they move through the school. But in terms of what's best for the boys and what's easiest for the boys, maybe not always easiest for the parents, but what's easiest and best for the boys, definitely 8-year-old Form 1 or Year 4 in national curriculum terms. So when should you register? Well, the simple answer is as early as possible. We are full in many year groups, and the last thing we would want to do is for a parent to get excited about their child coming to the school and then to miss out. So coming into the school and then moving on from Aysgarth. Upon entry, we like to meet with the boys before they arrive. We are a broad church in terms of our intake, but we want to make sure that the boys feel comfortable here and that we think that they would thrive in this very special environment. Of course, they benefit from excellent teaching and a lovely Aysgarth experience as they go through the school. And then moving on, they really do go to the Four Winds. Over the past 30 years or so, we've sent more to Harrow than any other school, but we take great delight and are very proud of the fact that we send boys to the very north, and in the last couple of years that includes Gordonstone and right down to the very south, along the south coast of Canford and the likes, and every school in between it. It really is about finding the right school for the right boy and supporting the parents in that application. If you're contemplating a move to a country prep school, my advice to you is to do your research in advance, but most importantly, go and visit the school. Go and meet the head, meet the children at the school, meet the staff, get a real feeling that it's the right place for you. I'm the most biased man in the world. I wholeheartedly recommend that you do exactly that. It is an unbelievable opportunity for your children, but make sure it fits for you and you feel it in your heart when you walk through the door.